you're thinking of unhinged ways to get to your ultimate goals quicker, this is one you need to listen. And it may be slightly counterintuitive, but it will help you. Now, the first thing I would say to you is that you need to know what you don't want. And sometimes knowing what you don't want gives you clarity over what you want. So you need to know what you don't want. And you need to be able to picture what failure looks like for you in every single event. And this is unhinged. This will get you to move quicker than you can ever imagine. So say for instance, you've got an important meeting today and it is with your very high stakeholders. The question is, what don't you want to happen in that meeting? Probably you don't want a situation where you are put on the spot multiple times in the meeting, or a situation where you couldn't give basic answers to basic questions, or you didn't want a situation where you didn't have enough room to express yourself. So in your mind, that means failure. If any of these things happen, it means that the meeting didn't go well. So what can you do right now to make sure all of those do not happen? You need a little bit more prep. Do you need a bit more strategy to have ready-made questions for the room? Do you want to go into the rooms a bit more refreshed, and you want to set some time before the meeting to make yourself feel more comfortable before you go into that meeting? Whatever works for you. But you need to come to a point where you set anti-goals, and anti-goals are what defines failure in every situation. And you don't want those things. And for me not to get to a point where those things happen, what do I need to do? So you mitigate the risks quite quickly in a way that you couldn't have imagined. The reason why some people do not get clarity over the things they want is because they don't have a view of what they don't want. So for instance, if you have if you're trying to build online, for instance, you may want to ask yourself, what could make me not show up every day? What would make my content invisible to people? What can happen that will make my engagements on my posts not, be consistent, or will make people not see my posts in the first place? Or what are those things that will make people not read from me, or not watch my video, or not be interested in the things that I put out there? Then you intentionally respond to those things you don't want. You move quickly to your goals. Move quickly to your goals. Tim Ferriss has this framework and exercise that he says it does. It's called fear setting. And I think he says it does it at least a month. And that is a situation where you define your nightmare in an excruciating detail. You will sit down, you would write out your nightmare. Well, we're heading towards 2026 now, so I expect a bit of seriousness from a lot of people. Okay, these are ways you could do that. You write down what fear looks like for you. It's called fear setting in excruciating detail. Now, 91% of our worries will never happen, will never actually happen. It was a study that was done by one of the universities in the US. 91% of what you fear will not happen. But writing it down in excruciating detail makes you see that if these actually happens, then I'm not gonna like it. And so that automatically helps you fight off the fear, fight off eventualities, fight off all this risks crystallizing for you. Your brain immediately enters into fight off mode. Then you begin to do the right things, feed your ultimate goal. From my perspective, I would also say to you that, there is the Pareto principle that talks about um 80% of your results that you get is generated by just a handful of the activities you're engaged in. Now, I know that to be true because I'm super, super, I'm overshadowed at this point, super busy. Like, I couldn't get enough time for myself at this point. And I know for a fact that there are some things that I do that is creating 80% of the results that I'm getting right now in my life. There are some, and they are no, I couldn't finish counting them on my fingertips. They are no more than five. Okay. That if I consistently do those things, I'll continue to get the results that I'm getting. in my life right now. Now, the question is, there are maybe 25 more activities I do or 30 more activities I do, but only 5 of them move the needle in a meaningful way. Only 5. The question is, why do I behave as though those 5 are not meaningful enough for me to push? Why do I ignore the fact that those 5 are the most important activities? And if I could scale and double up the volume on those 5, then I do not need to do the 25 more activities because they are not directly feeding my ultimate goals in a meaningful way. So I need you to step back and say, what are those top 5 things that I do every day, every week, every month, every quarter that move the needle so briskly forward in my favor? I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. Everybody's busy, 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 busy. The question is, busy doing what? And can you tie precisely the results you're getting right now to every single activity that you're doing? There are some, and I've been quite brutal with cutting things down. But I recently was watching a podcast where the life of Steve Jobs was being analyzed, and one of his top VPs that worked with him then at Apple was analyzing how he would be so intentional about teaching the power of focus. And one of the things he said is, if it does not pain you so badly to let go of something so that you can focus on what ultimately fits your goals, then you are not deprioritizing enough, you are not delegating enough, and you are not focused enough. So I mean, I don't want to make a video anyway, so I don't make a video. That is not focusing. You don't want to make it anyway, so that's not gonna hurt you in any meaningful way. That's not gonna do anything to you. But there is this brand new idea I have. There is this brand new product I want to try out. There's this new service I want to provide. It's going to bring me some income. But does it really fit into the grand agenda? Maybe not. But it's going to kill me to let it go because obviously it's going to bring me a lot of money and all of that and all of that. But for me to focus on what really matters for the Q1 of 2026, so what really matters in Q2 whatever, for me to focus on that, do I need to let go of this new idea that I have? Even though it's going to kill me too, because it's not easy to generate up ideas. Then that is focus. So say, you know what? No, I'll focus on the current products that I have, and I'm going to build that out, and I'm going to give the best experience, and I'm going to give my best thoughts, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to double down on what works because that fits the ultimate goal. I was listening to Dr. Benjamin Ahadi and in a podcast with Myron Golden. It was such an insightful one because they were talking about goals, and Dr. Benjamin Haddy said, There is nothing more detrimental to your ultimate goals than the pursuit of lesser important goals that takes your mind away from what matters." So you have your ultimate goals that do matter, and then you focus all your energy on that important huge goal and just double down until you get it. You then have lesser goals. And I'll give you an example of a time when that happened to me. In 2023, I think either 2023 or 2022, I can't remember now. I was writing my CFA level 3 exams. Now, I don't know what happened. I'd failed an initial attempt. So this time around, I'm like, I'm tired. I just registered for the ESG because obviously there was the rave about ESG and all of that. And if I wanted to like transition, I wanted it to be easy. So I put in for the ESG exam. I think I passed the ESG exam in maybe June, July situation, but I had also registered for my CFA exams that was going to happen late August, September situation. I think early September. Now, I spent the whole of May, June, July preparing for the ESG exam because I wanted to pass that. And I took my focus away from the CFA exams. That was the ultimate goal, the most critical one. I took my full face away from that and I focused I focus instead on what doesn't move the dial at all. And I failed the CFA exam, obviously, but I passed the ESG exam, obviously. But the ESG exam doesn't move me anywhere, obviously. So that is a super critical example of, if you want to achieve something, you go knee deep into it, and then you focus your mind, your attention, and you double down. If you want to scale your ultimate goal, you need to learn to scale the volume of the important things that get you to that ultimate goal. I hope this blesses you. Enjoy.